sister drowned after car rolls into river in Port Dickson. We begin the bulletin with this story. British teenager David Balisong, who was reported missing after arriving in Malaysia in early June, was found safe at a hotel in Jalan Pudu around 7 p.m. on Thursday. Kuala Lumpur Police Chief Datuk Fadil Marsus confirmed his discovery and said police will release more details once checks, including on his condition, are completed. When met by reporters at the Kuala Lumpur Contingent Police Headquarters, David's mother, Minerva, who had arrived in the city on July 12th to search for him, expressed her gratitude to all Malaysians who helped in locating her son. Previously, media outlets reported that police were investigating the disappearance of the 17-year-old A-level student who left his home in Cheadle, Greater Manchester in the UK on June 6th before secretly boarding a one-way flight to Malaysia. He also switched off his phone and stopped replying to emails after landing in Malaysia and was last seen at KL Central on June 7th. The inquest into the death of the late Zara Khairina Mahathir entered its second day, with the coroner's court still focused on the testimony of the first witness, Dr. Jessie Hugh, a forensic pathologist from Queen Elizabeth Hospital, who conducted the post-mortem on the 13-year-old. In her testimony, Dr. Hugh ruled out the possibility that the Form 1 student had been pushed or attacked, causing her to fall from the third floor of her dormitory. She nevertheless left it to the coroner to determine the cause of death. During Thursday's proceedings, Dr. Hugh was questioned by lawyer Datuk Ram Singh, who represents one of 5 teenagers charged in the Children's Court with allegedly bullying the deceased. Earlier, Ram had brought a doll into court to help the pathologist demonstrate the victim's position and injuries. When asked about the possibility that Zara had jumped from the third floor by herself, Dr. Hugh responded that she would leave the matter for the court to decide. She used the mannequin to show that Zara's injuries, mainly to her left foot, wrist, side and back, were consistent with a fall, concluding that Zara likely landed on her feet before falling backwards and striking her head on a concrete surface. Responding to questions from the conducting officer and Deputy Chief Prosecutor Datuk Badiuzaman Ahmad, Dr. Hugh rejected the assumption that Zara had been pushed or attacked, causing her to fall from the third floor. She added that based on the examination at the scene, the teenager was found unconscious and that it is highly likely that Zara either jumped or swung off while holding onto the metal railing at the top of the dormitory corridor wall. On allegations that previously went viral on social media that Zara had been murdered after being placed in a washing machine, Dr. Hui said it would have been impossible to place the late student in a washing machine because of the girl's weight, dismissing speculation that the teenager might have been forced into one before her death. The inquest before coroner Amir Shah Amir Hassan continues on Monday. In a separate case, the Defence Ministry confirmed that there had been no physical contact between Malaysian Armed Forces instructors and the late University Technology Malaysia Reserve Officers Training Unit, Palapes Cadet Shamsul Haris Shamsuddin. Minister Datuk Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin said preliminary findings have ruled out any alleged physical abuse prior to the cadet's death. According to Khalid, the cadet had been attending a non-residential program at the Ulu Tiram Army Training Centre, commuting from UTM on the day of the incident.
Dia berulang-alik daripada universiti dia, UTM, pada 28 bulan. Jadi yang pertamanya tidak ada sentuhan fizikal oleh jurulatih Angkatan Tentera, tak ada. Sebab dia ulang-alik pagi sampai betul buat latihan. Dalam latihan tu berlakulah insiden. The
minister also urged the public to stop speculating on the cadet's death. He said investigations have so far only involved instructors and other cadets present at the scene. More than 30 individuals have been questioned as the training took place in an open area witnessed by many. He said a conclusion can only be arrived at after the release of the second post-mortem report. Shamsul Harris, aged 22, died on July 28th at Kota Tinggi Hospital in Johor after collapsing during a session at the Ulu Tiram Training Centre. A second post-mortem was carried out following the exhumation of his body on August 29th. The results are still pending. Tragedy struck in Negeri Sembilan on Thursday when two siblings drowned after the car they were in plunged into Sungai Linggi in Port Dickson. District Police Chief Superintendent Maslan Udin said a distress call was received at 11:24 a.m. from the parents, both in their 40s, who said they had parked their car about 10 meters from the riverbank to rest and fish before the vehicle suddenly slid and plunged into the water. The bodies of the boy, aged 8, and his 6-year-old sister were recovered about 2 hours after the incident occurred near the Tanjung Agas Bridge. The children were believed to have been asleep inside the car with their mother, while their father was outside. Passers-by managed to save the mother, but could not rescue the children in time. The siblings' bodies were found in the front passenger seat of the car, which was submerged 4 meters deep. The vehicle may have suffered a technical problem, although the engine had been switched off. The children's bodies were sent to Port Dickson Hospital for post-mortem. The case is being investigated under the Road Transport Act. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim has called on Proton to expand into international markets with a focus on Europe and South America. The Prime Minister expressed confidence in the company's prospects, noting that Proton vehicles are already in high demand, including in Egypt. He also emphasized that the national car's high quality and competitive pricing can make it an attractive contender on the global stage. Anwar said Proton should seize the opportunity presented by the presence of numerous world leaders and next October's ASEAN Summit to strengthen its brand on the international stage.
Jadi saya telah minta pihak Proton itu menyediakan satu ruang semasa sidang utama kita supaya dapat kita bawa pemimpin ini dan rombongan dari negara ini melihat sendiri keupayaan, prestasi, teknologi Proton supaya kita boleh menembusi sekali lagi pasaran luar.
Anwar said this at the launch of the nation's first electric vehicle manufacturing plant in Tanjung Malim, Perak on Thursday. He also highlighted that Proton's EV facility showcases green technology and makes EVs accessible to middle-income households.
Kita tentunya mengalung-alungkan peluncuran Proton EV yang baru dan saya dimaklumkan bahawa kita boleh berusaha menurunkan kos yang lebih mampu berdaya saing dan memenuhi keperluan masyarakat yang pendapatannya lebih sederhana.
The Prime Minister added that the presence of Proton EVs in the market also addresses criticism that EV tax exemptions favor only the wealthy. He said the move supports the government's efforts to make Malaysia a low-carbon nation by 2050, in line with the country's green economy transition policy. Meanwhile, Anwar expressed confidence that close Malaysia-China collaboration in the automotive sector will create opportunities for local talent to master high-tech skills. The Prime Minister said China's willingness to share technology has also helped to accelerate the development of Malaysia's automotive industry.
Ini terbukti kerana bukan saja mereka mendapat hasil dari kerjasama dalam bidang dari industri ini, tapi kesediaan mereka itu di peringkat tertentu memindahkan teknologi dan memberi ruang kepada anak-anak tempatan.
Anwar added that the Tanjung Malim Automotive Hub is entering a new phase with the Automated High-Tech Valley, or AHTV project, which is expected to elevate the area's status as a key automotive center in the region. He also noted that the Zhejiang Geely Holding Group has been invited to boost its investment to support the development of the AHTV. Social media platform TikTok may face action if it fails to effectively curb the spread of fake news on its application. Communications Minister Datuk Fahmi Fadzil warned that the app has also been lax in addressing online scams and cyberbullying. On Thursday, Fahmi met with TikTok senior management at Bukit Aman in a session also attended by the police. The meeting came in the wake of the platform's slow response to authorities, including instances of false information being spread by individuals posing as specialist doctors in connection with the death of Zara Khairina Mahathir.
Jadi saya telah meminta supaya pasukan TikTok, PDRM dan MCMC meneruskan perbincangan, meletakkan beberapa tempoh masa dan tindakan yang perlu mereka lakukan. Saya secara umumnya sangat tidak berpuas hati dengan sikap TikTok.
Fahmi said TikTok has been given time to present a stronger mechanism for handling false content, and that failure to do so could result in legal action. Since the start of this year, more than 76,000 posts have been removed from TikTok. However, 10,730 posts remain online, despite requests made by the MCMC for their removal. Technical and Vocational Education and Training, or TVET, for persons with disabilities will be considered as part of the 2026 budget agenda. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said the proposal was among those raised during the Rural and Regional Development Ministry's 2026 budget dialogue session. According to Zahid, who is also the Rural and Regional Development Minister, the proposal will first be presented to the National TVET Council before being submitted to the Finance Ministry for consideration in the upcoming federal budget, which is scheduled to be tabled in the Dewan Rakyat on October 10th.
Yang penting, masyarakat OKU dan golongan istimewa ini harus diberikan peluang yang sama rata dan kursus-kursus yang bersesuaian dengan cita rasa mereka dan juga bertepatan dengan kehendak pasaran.
Another proposal involves introducing a maritime TVET program in the East Coast to train young people in maritime-related fields and deep-sea entrepreneurship. Malaysia must immediately stop importing plastic waste from abroad under the guise of the circular economy. Acting Natural Resources and Environment Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani said while using plastic is convenient, the reality is that it is extremely difficult to decompose. Johari raised the matter at the 18th ASEAN Ministerial Meeting on the Environment, warning that continuing the practice poses serious long-term risks to both public health and the environment.
Waktu bila saya tengok benda ni baru ni, saya dah cakap stop. Tak boleh kita pergi bawa plastik-plastik daripada luar ataupun waste daripada luar datang ke negara kita under the pretext of recycle economy. Lepas tu under the pretext of circular economy. Lepas tu the balance ni kita buang kat kita punya landfill.
Johari added that he had discussed the issue with the Prime Minister, who agreed that the import of used plastics must cease. He noted that Malaysia has become a target for plastic waste imports due to lower disposal costs, but stressed that such practices are unacceptable and harmful. Meanwhile, Johari said the Urban Renewal Bill needs to be further refined to ensure the interests of the people and the nation are safeguarded. The Plantation and Commodities Minister, who is also UMNO Vice President, added that past experiences should serve as lessons for all parties involved. Johari, who heads UMNO's Special Task Force on the bill, said its implementation should not disadvantage any party.
Macam mana kita boleh tengok supaya dia dapat satu keadaan win-win situation bermakna negara boleh dimajukan, rakyat tidak tertekan hasil daripada akta yang kita tak dapat perincikan. Jadi ini semua ini ada matlamat dia masing-masing.
He added that UMNO had received various feedback calling for the bill to be refined rather than scrapped. On Wednesday, UMNO announced that Johari would lead the party's special task force to thoroughly review and fine-tune every aspect of the Urban Renewal Bill. The findings will be presented at the Urban Malay Convention scheduled at the end of this month, with the resolution to be submitted to the Prime Minister. Bank Negara Malaysia has maintained the overnight policy rate, or OPR, at 2.75%. In a statement on Thursday, the Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee said the current rate remains appropriate to support economic activity while maintaining price stability. The economy grew by 4.4% in the first half of the year, driven by continued consumer spending and investment. Growth for the full year is projected at between 4 and 4.8%. Headline inflation stayed stable at 1.4% during the first 7 months of the year. Looking ahead, inflation is expected to remain moderate into next year, supported by contained global cost pressures. This reflects sustained economic expansion without signs of excessive demand-driven pressures. Malaysia's property market is expected to remain resilient despite ongoing global uncertainties. Second Finance Minister Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan said this is evidenced by more than 196,000 transactions worth 107.6 billion ringgit recorded in the first 6 months of the year. According to the Property Market Report for the first half of 2025, released by the Valuation and Property Services Department, while the number of transactions dipped slightly by 1.3%, their total value rose by 1.9%.
Saya yakin bahawa semua komitmen dan inisiatif yang dilaksanakan oleh Kerajaan Madani dapat memberi manfaat kepada rakyat di samping membantu mendorong pasaran harta tanah mencapai prestasi yang lebih kukuh.
The average house price stood at about 490,000 ringgit per unit during the same period, with the number of unsold residential units climbing 16.3% compared with the second half of 2024. Amir added that the 2026 budget would prioritize housing reforms and greater access to affordable homes, including through rent-to-own schemes and the build-then-sell concept.
A summit that's more than just talk. MDX 2025 is where innovation meets impact. Discover how Malaysia is harnessing emerging tech to transform industries, empower citizens, and lead the region's digital future. Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan speaks with Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation MDEC CEO Anwar Faris Fazil. Only on Money Matters this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Influencer arrested after taking luxury car out to sea. More on the local front after this break. Stay with us.
Boleh saya bantu? 2. Mereka sedia membantu.
Aku hantu Melayu.
Nak check in? Boleh?
Dekat hotel kita ni, kalau orang nak sewa sejam bilik, berapa rate harga?
Nak drama? Pun boleh. Kalau nak musim baru, lagilah boleh.
Lambat.
Kini, mereka kembali dengan musim kedua.
Chef!
Tolong?
See you ada ni.
Boleh?
Kena ada orang ni.
Jadi, belum tentu. Sedia ke nak hadap bantuan geng Boleh Saya Bantu 2? Setiap Jumaat dan Sabtu, 9 malam di Lestari TV3 dan stream 24 jam lebih awal ditonton. Dramacation paling kecoh bermula di sini.
Juara! Ada juara lagu ke-13. Alah, tengah sedap tergantung pula. Sabar jap. Biar abang yang setiakan bil tonton.
Tak perlu overthinking, just keep watching. Lagi mudah bayar bil tonton terus melalui bil telefon. Pilih telco kegemaran, bayar dan sambung layan sampai tak berhenti.
unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headline.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Nightline continues. A social media influencer was among 12 people arrested by the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, or MMEA, of Terengganu on Wednesday. According to the Terengganu State Maritime Department, the influencer had illegally towed a luxury car out to sea on a floating platform, complete with a glass-encased bedroom, to shoot a video. The platform and 2 passenger boats were seized by the MMEA during an operation called Ops Iman at around 6 p.m. near Pulau Bidong, 60 nautical miles northwest of Kuala Terengganu. Those arrested comprised 6 crew members and 6 passengers, including the influencer. The passengers, aged between 21 and 32, were later released. Investigations revealed that the platform was built without safety equipment, posing serious risks to crew, passengers, and other waterway users. All detained vessels and personnel were transported to the Terengganu State Maritime Jetty for further investigation. The case is being investigated under the Merchant Shipping Ordinance. In Pulau Pinang, a teacher who allegedly slashed his wife's neck last month was charged with attempted murder at the Balik Pulau Sessions Court on Thursday. No plea was recorded from 30-year-old Nazmi Izzuddin Zubairi after the charge was read out before Judge Azal Faris Ahmad Khairuddin. Nazmi was accused of trying to kill his wife, 28-year-old Hanis Sofia Hamdan, with a kitchen knife at their home in Taman Tunas Muda, Sungai Ara on August 27th. The charge under the Penal Code carries a maximum 20-year jail sentence. The court also ordered Nazmi to be sent to Hospital Bahagia Ulu Quinta, Perak, for psychiatric evaluation to assess if he is fit to stand trial. The assessment report is due on October 8th. It was reported that pressure from bank debts and buy now pay later installments had triggered a domestic dispute that led to the attack. The accused allegedly slashed his wife with a knife before turning the weapon on himself. Proton makes last-ditch offer to People's Party. The details when Nightline returns.
홍대영, 오늘은 나랑 술 좀 마시자.
우영이가 홍대영이라고? 홍대영이 고영이라고!
오늘 힘들었잖아요. 괜찮아. 잘했어요, 오늘.
재밌는 얘기 하나 해줄까? 홍대영 얘기인데.
진짜야?
18 Again, setiap Rabu hingga Jumaat 11 malam di slot Jam Sarang TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kita orang Sarawak, macam-macam aktiviti best minggu kita di studio Tonton Drama Sangat. Ada gaya macam ratu, pertandingan ratu etnik drama sangat dah tunggu. Untuk adik-adik, tunjukkan bakat mewarna Ejen Ali sambil bergambar dengan maskot Ejen Ali. Yang hati kental, boleh cuba masuk trail rumah hantu. Dan mestilah personaliti media prima dan artis drama sangat pun ada. Selfie banyak-banyak, okey? Jumpa kita semua di Carnival Jom Heboh Sarawak, dataran perayaan Petra Jaya Kuching 5 hingga 7 September ini. Jom, jom, jom!
Benda hantu raya, memang hantu tu akan menyerupai rupa tuan dia. Esprit tu ni, cumi-cumi.
Isteri-isteri Cik Ryan sekarang ni tengah bergaduh dengan Ebek tu.
Berbaik semula dengan Jana.
Sure, boleh saya bantu? Musim kedua, Jumaat dan Sabtu, 9 malam. Di Lestari TV3 dan stream 24 jam lebih awal ditonton.
Terbaru ditonton.
Ha? Ni, kau ambil apron ni, aku berhenti kerja. I quit. Lepas ni nak buat kerja apa pula? Nak buat taksi.
Pera awak. Kafe bunga telang ni baru je buka tapi tengok ah, pelanggan ramai oh.
Dah pera. Orang macam Kak Shalisa ni memang terbaik, the perfect chef. Macam tu.
Jidah ni macam cool tau. Saya teringin sangat nak jumpa dia.
Kenapa? Nak masuk Minang?
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Onto the foreign front. In the latest twist in a chaotic few days in Thai politics, Pheu Thai Party on Thursday said it was prepared to call a snap election immediately if Chai Kasem Nitisiri, a 77-year-old former Attorney General, gets the votes required on Friday to become Prime Minister. The play by Pheu Thai could undermine a pact announced a day earlier between Boom Jai Thai Party and the People's Party, the biggest force in Parliament, under which Boom Jai Thai leader Anutin Charnvirakul would get its decisive backing in return for his promise to dissolve the House in 4 months. Anutin, however, expressed confidence that the People's Party would not go back on its promise to vote for him as the new Prime Minister in the PM vote. Anutin said he believed the latest offer by Pheu Thai to swiftly dissolve the House of Representatives after the policy debate would not sway the People's Party decision. Earlier, Thai royal officials rejected a request by Pheu Thai Party to dissolve Parliament, clearing the way for lawmakers to vote on a new head of government. Indonesian authorities have fired a police officer who was involved in the death of a delivery driver who was killed after being hit by an armored police vehicle in an attempt to quell the ongoing anti-government protests. National Police spokesman Truno Yudo Wisnu Andiko said Officer Cosmas KJ had acted unprofessionally during the protest, describing his behavior as a reprehensible act. Local media reported that Cosmas was in the vehicle that hit 21-year-old driver Afan Kurniawan, but Truno Yudo gave no other details about the officer's involvement. The sanctioned officer said he was considering an appeal, while the fate of the other 6 officers has yet to be determined. Protests in Indonesia began over economic inequality and lawmakers' perks, but grew after footage showed a paramilitary police vehicle running over and killing Afan. Portugal held a day of mourning on Thursday after at least 17 people were killed after an iconic railway cable car crashed in Lisbon. Authorities said all victims have been recovered from the wreckage as the death toll rose to 17, with a further 21 injured. 4 nationals are among those killed, although the identities of the victims have not been confirmed. The 140-year-old Elevador da Gloria funicular, a major Lisbon tourist attraction, derailed and crashed into a building on Wednesday. While the cause remains unconfirmed, eyewitnesses reported a possible brake failure that sent the cable-hauled car speeding down the steep street. Investigations are currently underway. Italian fashion designer and billionaire brand owner Giorgio Armani has died at the age of 91. He was the archetype of Italian style and elegance, reimagining men's and women's suits for a modern audience. He combined the flair of the designer with the acumen of a businessman, running a company that turned over some $2.7 billion a year. He had been unwell for some time and was forced to drop out of his group's shows at Milan's Men's Fashion Week in June, the first time in his career that he had missed one of his catwalk events.
Io penso che finché sarò vivo, indipendentemente
Switching to sports, football, the Tier 1 international friendlies. The national team put on an impressive display to secure a 2-1 victory over Singapore in the Causeway Derby clash at the Bukit Jalil National Stadium on Thursday night. Harimau Malaya delivered a dominant first-half performance, with Stuart Wilkin opening the scoring in the 27th minute. Malaysia kept up their momentum as War Figueroa doubled the lead 6 minutes before the hour mark. Ilhan Fandi reduced the deficit for the Lions in the 72nd minute, but it was not enough to spark a comeback, as Peter Chmowski's side held on to secure the 2-1 win. Malaysia are set to face Palestine in their second international friendly at the Sultan Ibrahim Stadium in Johor on Monday. Moving on to hockey, the 2025 Asia Cup. Malaysia fell to a 1-4 defeat to host India in their Super 4 clash in Bihar on Thursday night. The Speedy Tigers got off to a flying start after grabbing the lead just 2 minutes into the game through Shafiq Hassan. India, however, fought back stronger by scoring 4 goals to secure the comfortable 4-1 victory. Malaysia will need to beat South Korea in their last Super 4 clash to secure a place in the final. That concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at the night sky ablaze in Japa, El Salvador during the 103rd edition of the traditional Battle of the Fireballs, a fiery spectacle that draws thousands to witness one of the country's most unique and vibrant celebrations. With that, I'm Hassanel. Thank you for watching and be well, Malaysia.